Hello everyone. In today's class, we are going to learn polylines, ellipse, rectangles, and polygons. We are also going to look at the snap function because that will help us a lot, make our life a lot easier. So first of all, you are going to bring your command window up. So from here, so bring it up and leave several lines so we can see the command. Then we are going to turn on the snap function. So this is what the snap function is. So at the bottom of the screen here, so also there is a drop down button here. So click that. So check the middle point because we're going to use it. So have the mid point on. And also you could have other functions on if you want to. So I will just leave it in this way so far. And another thing is the angle snap. So this is the angle snap. If you click the drop down button here, so previously we were here 90, 180 to 70. So now we're going to check the 45, 90, and 135 degrees. So check that. Also make sure your function is on. So this is off. So this is on. And with the snap function, we are going to revisit our 3-15 that we did in the past. So this problem. So we are going to revisit this problem with the snap functions on. So we are going to start here, then do all the way around, then complete. So go back AutoCAD here. So I'm going to start a line. So I'm going to use the solid line layer. So those layers you did in the past. So just bring them up so you don't have to recreate all those layers. So I'm going to turn on the solid line layer with white color and start a line. So I'm going to start off 0, 0. And so since I have the snap function on, so it's going straight. And the length of it is 2.25. Then press enter. And this is the first. Then zoom in a little bit. And the next one, I'm going to go to 45 degrees. Since I had the snap function on here, so right here I have a 45, 90, 130 degrees. So it's on. So I don't need to type in the degree because it can snap automatically. And the length of it is 1.768. So type it in. The next one is about 135 degree. So it's right here, can snap as well. So the length is 0.25. Then hit enter. I'm going to move to the left. So the length is 1.188. And hit enter. And I'm going down. So it's 0.25 with the length. And I'm going to move towards minus 45 degree, which is about this spot. And the length is 0.625. Then hit enter. I'm going to move towards this angle. It's about minus 135 degrees. So it's the length is 0.5. Then hit enter. The next one is moving towards to the left up. Then the length is 1.625. Then hit enter. Then go 90 degrees, so it's minus 135 degrees. And the length is 0.75. Hit enter. Then going down here, and the length is 0.75. Then hit 5. Oh, it's not showing up. Okay, 5. Then hit enter. Then I don't know the length here, so I'm going to draw it a little bit longer. Then hit ESC. Then I click line again. So from the origin, and draw it a little bit longer, and hit ESC. And if you really trim those things off, so you could use the trim function. We haven't learned it yet. So trim and select them all. then right click of the mouse, then trim, left click the part that you want to trim off, then hit ESC. And there's two small pieces, let's delete it. And this is what we have for 3-15 with the snap functions on. Pretty easy, huh? Now we are going to keep learning on the sheet that we give it to you. So we are going to work on polylines. And first of all, we are going to work on this part. So it's a line and a circle and an arc and another arc with the length 6 and radius 4.5 and a radius 4. So let's go back here. So I'm going to delete this part. And so this is a polyline that we are going to use today. So click polyline. So I'm going to start to draw a line first. So the origin 0, 0, 0, hit enter and go straight. So the length is 6. So tap 6 here. And this is the length. And then I will need to draw a circle. So the circle like this, the radius is 4.5. Then I'm still on the polyline. So here we are going to do an arc. So click the arc function here, and the radius is 4.5. Then hit enter. Then I'm going to go up, and now it's the diameter. So the diameter here is 4. Then hit enter. Then we're done. Then hit ESC here. So we drew the first part. Then you can save the work if you want to. And the next one, we are going to draw this arrow. So a lot of times you can set up the templates for the arrow, but sometimes you want to draw only one arrow with the specific dimension. So it's probably much easier draw it with polyline. So we're going to draw it. So for this arrow, the length is 11, and the left side, which is the width. So the width is 3, and to the right side, the width is 0 because it's finally concentrated to a point. So the width is 0. So the left width is 3, and the right width is 0, and the length is 11. So let's go back to AutoCAD. So we are going to draw a polyline. So click polyline here. Then told us to specify a start point. So any random point. And then we are going to go to width. Okay, so click width. And ask it as the starting width. So remember, it's going to be 3 because the left side here is 3, and the second width is going to be 0. So let's go back and do that. So the start width is 3, so you tap 3 here, and the end width, so it's going to be 0, so you tap 0 here. Then next one, we're going to specify the length. So the length is 11, so tap in 11 here and hit ESC. So this is our arrow. Then we are going to add a line. So a line here, it should be able to snap the midpoint because we turned that on here. So we turn on here, so it should be able to snap the midpoint. So go to line here and snap the midpoint. So this is our arrow, and hit ESC here. And the next thing, we're going to draw ellipse. So this is the ellipse. And if you click the drop down button here, we have a few options. So today we're going to do the first one. So for an ellipse, you have a major diameter, which is a longer one, and a minor diameter, which is a short one. So in this case, we have major radius and a minor radius. So let's click this function, and so ask it as the center of the ellipse. So you can select a random point, then ask it as the endpoint of axis. So let's go back and take a look. So it looks like the major radius is 6 and the minor radius is 2.1. So let's do that. So the major radius is 6, so we're going to tap 6 here and hit enter. And the minor radius is 2.1, so this is the minor radius, the other axis. So you type 2.1 here, then hit enter, and this is your ellipse. Then you can save your work. So I'm going to save as. You can save the work if you want and call it a class exercise. And save the work. And after that, we're going to work on the second sheet of the handout, and we're going to work on rectangles. So for this rectangle, the length is 6 and the height is 4. So let's go back here. So this is how you're going to draw a rectangle. So this function here, so you click the drop down button, you have rectangle here. So if you click that, so you could ask you the first corner of the point. So just randomly click a point, then ask you the other corner. So it's going to be the bottom right corner here. So the length is 6, so you tap 6 here, then comma. Since you're moving down here, okay, you're moving down, so it's going to be a negative number. So you're going to tap -4 instead of 4 because you're moving down. Then hit enter. So you got this rectangle. And if you hover your mouse, the cursor on top of the rectangle, so as you can see, this is a whole object. Okay, and if you draw it with 4 lines, so we have a line command here, so you could draw it with 4 lines. So give a first point, so the length is 6, tap 6, then go down, then the length is 4, then go to the left, then the length is 6 again, then close the ship, then hit ESC. So if you hover your mouse on top of it, so there are going to be 4 individual lines instead of a whole object here. So sometimes you want to move the rectangle around, such as in this way, move them around. Then if you move around with lines, so it's going to be something like this, which you don't want it to be. Okay, so what you can do is you can combine these 4 lines together as a whole. So what you can do is you can use the function that is called join. So it's going to be under the modify tab or ribbon. So modify ribbon and click the drop down button, and this is join function. Okay, join function. Or you could just tap join and it will pop up. So this is join. So you can select all 4 lines. So you click the mouse at the left upper corner, then don't hold the mouse, just click it once, then move the cursor down and click it again. So they are all left click. And after that, you're done of your selection, and then you right click of the mouse, then they combine together. So it's a rectangle instead of 4 lines. Now if we go back, then there are 4 lines. Next thing, we're going to learn chamfers and fillets and chamfers on rectangle. So anything round here is called a fillet, and anything square here is called a chamfer. So for fillet, we usually ask for the radius of the fillets. So the radius is 2, and the height is 8 and the length is 10. So let's go back here and draw a rectangle. So rectangle here, and so we're going to select the fillet first. So click the rectangle, then select the fillet, and ask as the radius. So the radius is 2, then hit enter. Then I ask you specify the first corner, so randomly click upon. So since the rectangle, the length is 10 and comma minus 8 because you are moving down, and hit enter for it. Then this is a rectangle. And also you could have rectangle with a chamfer on it. So for chamfer, in order to define a chamfer, you have two ways. So you could either define distance and a distance, which is 1 and 1 in this case, or you could define a distance and an angle. So in this case, we just do a distance and a distance. So let's go back here. Oh, by the way, the height is 8 and the length is 10 again. So let's go back to here and click the rectangle. And now we are going to click chamfer here. So click chamfer and ask the first chamfer distance. It's 1. Then hit enter. And the second chamfer distance, it's 1 again. Then hit enter. Then specify the first point, so any random point. Then the second point, so x-axis is 10, comma, minus 8 because you're moving down. So this is your rectangle. Or you could have a rectangle with a strange chamfer, such as this. So the height is 1 and the length is 2. So let's go back. So first of all, we're going to go back to rectangle and we're going to click chamfer again. So the first corner, we're going to make it as 2 and hit enter. And the second one, we're going to make it as 1, then hit enter. And we're going to specify the first one, and it's going to be the length is 10 and the comma minus 8, then hit enter. So it's going to be like this, and we're going to save the work frequently. And if you want to draw the rectangle again with the rectangle function, you will realize these chamfers are here all the time. So all the time. So the way that you can cancel out the chamfer is you go back to the rectangle function again, then you click the chamfer option and specify the first distance. You make it as 0, means no chamfer. Then hit enter. And the second chamfer distance, you hit 0 as well and hit enter. Now no chamfers will appear anymore, such as this. Then this is about the rectangle with either chamfer or fillets on it. In the next thing, we are going to see how we are going to draw a circle that is tangent in the rectangle. So let's go back here. So for the rectangle, the height is 9.3 and the length is 14.4, and the center of the circle is 7.2 here, which means the center is exactly in the middle of the rectangle, so which is make our life easier. And let's go back here. We're going to draw a rectangle, and the first point just randomly give it, and the other corner, so x-axis is 14.4 comma minus 9.3. Then this is a rectangle. And the next one, so it's a yellow color here, so we're going to change the layer to yellow and draw a circle. So I'm going to select the 2 point, okay, 2 point method. So remember that we turn on the midpoint snap, so you should be able to snap here. So this was what we turn on here. So we turn on the midpoint, so you should be able to snap. Okay, so go to circle here and 2 point, then you snap to the center. So one center, and 1 point, and the second midpoint. So this is the circle. And for circle, you probably want to give the center mark. So you go to Annotate tab and have a center mark here. So select that and make sure you select the circle instead of a center. They're not going to recognize the center. So select the circle, then hit ESC. So apparently I put it in the wrong layer, so I go back to the Home tab, select the center mark here, and go back it to center line. Okay, center line. Then hit ESC. So I'm in the wrong layer again, so click that, go back to a white. And the next one, sometimes the circle is not going to be exactly at the center, so the distance is going to be 6 here. So we are going to use some construction lines to make it from here to here is 6, so we can snap. So let's go back here and first of all draw a rectangle. So give any random point. So x-axis is 14.4, comma, negative 9.3. Hit enter. And now we are going to go to construction lines. So construction lines here. Then we start the line. So this is what we want. Then the length is 6. Then hit enter. Then hit ESC. Then go to line again. So this is the upper left corner, and the length is 6 again. So hit enter, then hit ESC. Then we could snap. So if you select the circle, 2 point again here. So if you put your mouse here, so this is what you want. But you gotta be careful, because if you move a little bit right, then the midpoint is going to be snapped. So in order to not get confused, you could turn off the midpoint function. So if you do it again, then 2 point, then the middle point will not be snapped anymore. So this is what we want, and this is what we want as well. So we're in the wrong layer, so click the circle and move it back under the yellow line. And go to the Annotate tab and give a center mark on it. So select the object and go back to Home tab and save the work and turn it back to the solid white layer and save the work. Next one, we're going to go to polygons. So still the rectangle, so you click the drop down button here and they have a polygon here. So the way that AutoCAD makes polygon is use either inscribed or subscribed. So this is what I'm talking about. So they're actually making a circle with a certain radius. Okay, if your polygon is inside of the circle, it's called inscribed. And if your polygon is outer side of in the outer of the circle, is called circumscribed. So this is what they mean. So both of the circles, the radius is 12, and we're going to make this shape. So let's go back to AutoCAD here, and let's do a polygon. Then first of all, ask as the number of sides. So we are going to do 6. Okay, 6. Then specify the center. So randomly give a center here. Well, ask as is inscribed in circle or circumscribed about the circle. So first of all, let's do the inscribed in circle. So select that. Then the diameter, the radius is going to be 6 because the diameter is 12. So we tap 6 here. Then this is the polygon. Then let's do it one more time with the circumscribed. So select the polygon here, and number of sides is still 6. Then give a center point. Then we're going to select the circumscribed about the circle. So and we give the diameter, the radius still 6. So tap 6 here. So we have those two polygons. They're a little bit different. One is inscribed, the other is circumscribed. So let's make a circle for that. So we are going to select the 2 point, and this is the first point I'm going to select, and the second point here. Then for the other one, I'm going to turn on the snap of the midpoint. Okay, turn that on. Then do the circle 2 point again. So it's going to be the center, the middle point of this line, and also at the bottom here. Okay, and I'm going to make this 2 circles with different color. So this one and this one here, I'm going to make them blue and save the work. So both of those 2 circles, the diameter is 12, or we could dimension it. So dimension it, this is what I want, and also this is what I want. The color is pretty hard to read. So if we zoom in, oh, I deleted that. Okay, let's do it one more time. Delete that. Then from here, in the dimension here, that's 12. Okay, and the other one is 12 as well. And you can also draw polygons with different edges. So click polygon again. Let's do an edge with 12. Then hit enter and give a point and make it. Let's do a inscribe this time, and let's do our let's give 12 as the radius. So this is your polygon. This is all we have for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.